So I'm sure some of you have seen my desktop screen before. I don't know, whenever I have to like pull down all of my windows, like whenever I'm streaming or something. But I don't think you've seen any further than that, well, further back than that, and that is what we're going to be doing in this video. We're now going to be zooming out even further, so that way you can get an even bigger picture of everything that is going on here. So yeah, this is my setup. I know a lot of you have been waiting for this, but it is now time to finally tour my setup here. And obviously we have a lot going on here, so I'm going to be going over every single thing there is in this setup in as much detail as possible. So the first thing I'm sure most of you want to see, and maybe like the primary reason that you clicked on this video, and well, yeah, you guessed it, the first thing that would be showing in my setup is, well, the computer. I'm just gonna go ahead and move this out of the way for now. I'll get to that in a bit, but yeah, as you can see, this is my computer here. Yeah, it has a lot of RGB in it. I just really like RGB, so, you know, don't judge. So now, funny story with the fans here. I actually had to replace the fans that the case came with because the RGB on those fans didn't, like, they barely work. I mean, they worked a little bit, but like just barely. So these four fans here, you know, the three in the front and the one in the back here, I actually purchased separately with the case, and they also came with this, well, these two RGB light strips, as you can see on the bottom of the case here. So now I just went into my drawer. Now there's also a remote that I have to control the RGB for these fans and the LED light strips. So if I would say, I don't know, I mean, blue is my favorite color, so let's say I want them all to be a static blue. I can make them all blue, or I don't know, maybe I want them red. I can make them red, or green, or yellow, or orange, or purple. Well, you know, I'm sure you get the idea. So now if I click on auto here, that just goes back to the default RGB that I like, but I can also change the modes here. So there's all kinds of different modes I can set for these RGB lights for the fans and the LED strips. So yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna keep it at yeah, that for now. Well, not for now, but well, yeah, for now. Maybe I'll change it in the future, but this is what I have it at as default, and this is what I like the most, so I'm just going to go ahead and stick with that. Now I'm sure you're curious what the specifications of the computer are. So if you look right there, that spinning RGB fan that says AMD on it, that is my CPU fan, and for my CPU, I have the Ryzen 9 5900X in there, so that's the CPU of the computer. And for my RAM, as you can see, these four sticks right there, that is, well, those are Crosshair Vengeance brand RAM sticks, so the RGB on those can be controlled via the Crosshair IQ app. And for the actual RAM of my computer, I got 64 gigabytes, 3200 megahertz of DDR4 RAM, with each of those sticks being 16 gigabytes each. So, you know, 16 times 4 is, you know, equals to, well, totals to 64 gigabytes. And for my GPU here, I got the Gigabyte brand RTX 3060. And for my motherboard here, I got the MSI B550 Gaming Plus motherboard. And for the hard drives on my computer, well, my first hard drive, you can actually see it right there. That is the 980 Pro, well, Samsung 980 Pro 2 terabyte, which is, you know, in the NVMe drive slot. Well, there's actually two of them, but the other one doesn't really seem to work for some reason, so I just have to use this one, but it's not that big of a deal. And that's the drive that my operating system runs on, but I do have two other hard drives on my computer, which are They're like right there, but you can't see them. It's on like the other side of the case. But for my second drive, I got the Samsung 870 EVO 4TB, and for my third drive, I got the Seagate Ironwolf 10TB HDD drive. And for my power supply, we can't really see it in the actual case. It's on the other side of the case, but you can see it right here. You can see, the computer power cord is plugged in right here. Well, this is the EVGA 850 watt, 80 plus gold certified power supply. So yeah, that is pretty much all the details of my computer. So now we're going to go ahead and move on to more of the setup here. So moving on here, you can see that I got 1, 2, 3 monitors here, and there's even some RGB on this monitor right here, which is controlled via the RGB light sense app. So let's say I want to just turn them off, I can click that and now they are turned off, but I want to keep them on, and there's different modes I can choose, and let's say I wanted let's say you just wanted all to be blue. I could just, well, it's not really... Oh, you have to click apply, I believe. Alright, this doesn't really... Wait. This doesn't really seem to be, okay, there it goes. So, okay, then... I mean, that kind of looks more like a greenish blue than just blue, but I mean, it's whatever. I don't know. I mean that's what it does. So, but I keep it to spectrum here, which is basically like, RGB lights, fading in and out, as you can see right here, and that's what I like to keep it as, and that's what I like the most. So I don't have to really necessarily worry about the other features for that, I guess. At least for now, I don't know. So now, anyway, for the specifications of the monitors, I'm sure you're curious about that. My main one here is a 1080p 280Hz monitor, but I did manage to overclock the refresh rate to 290Hz, so that is pretty neat. And for my two side monitors here, the left and the right one, these are actually the exact same monitors, which they're both 1080p 75Hz monitors, but similarly to my main one, I actually managed to overclock these both to 80Hz instead of 75Hz, which is yet again pretty neat. So moving on here, this is my headset, and this is the Crosshair Void Elite RGB headset, and these lights can be controlled via the Crosshair IQ app, so that is always pretty neat. I just really like RGB, okay? So now right here we got my microphone. I'll just keep it like that for now. This is where I put my microphone for when I'm not recording, and I just want it out of the way for now. But when I am going to record, I just spin it around like this, and then I bring it up like that, and then I drag it over like that, and then there we go. I am ready to record a video or start streaming or whatever it is I'm doing. So now if you're wondering, this is the Blue Yeti microphone. I think it makes my voice sound pretty nice, and I do highly recommend it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put this back for now. Yeah, that's good. But anyway, moving on here, we got my Stream Deck, and I'm sure most of you have seen these before. There's numerous creators that use these things. So for example, if I want to open a certain tab on the internet, I can click one of these buttons and it will open the corresponding internet tab, or Google tab, Firefox tab, whatever you want to call it. Or if I want to launch any applications, I can click here, then I got all kinds of applications, to my customization that I could launch just by pressing one of well, the corresponding button. And I can also customize it to where I can see date and time. I can set a timer, a stopwatch, have a counter for something. See my CPU usage, mute or unmute my microphone or desktop audio. I can also play numerous audio, as many audio files as I want, as much as I want to customize on here. And we also have this button that says go live, and if I press that button, that basically just brings up everything on my computer that I would need to start streaming, so that is pretty neat. And of course there are many other functions that you can customize on a Stream Deck that I don't even have on my particular Stream Deck menu at the moment. So now moving on, here we got my mouse, which is Crosshair brand. As you can see the symbol right there, and that's the RGB is fully customizable via the Crosshair IQ app. And for my keyboard here, which is also Crosshair brand, well, the mouse is called the M55 mouse, and the keyboard is called the K55 keyboard. I've actually purchased the mouse and keyboard in one box, if you're wondering. Well, they were purchased together, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So now, something really neat about this keyboard that I didn't even know before I purchased it is, well, these G keys right here. As you can see, there are 6 of them. Now, if you're wondering what those G keys are for, if I just go ahead and bring up my Stream Deck software, as you can see, this is the customization, well, the menu I have for my Stream Deck here. But if I go ahead and click right here, then you can see there's an option for Crosshair G keys. So basically, these Crosshair G keys basically act like Stream Deck keys, which I think is really neat. So now moving on, here we have my volume mixer. Well, if you turn this knob like all the way this way, that would, turn down whatever the application is, or if you turn it to the right like that, that would, turn up the volume of the application, or whatever it is that you have customized for, each knob. And then there's also these buttons here. I don't have these customized currently to do anything, but I will show you what I'm talking about on I'll show you what I can customize, or what I could customize them to do via the software for my volume mixer here. So right here is the software for my volume mixer, and as you can see, we have a lot going on here. And for these buttons here, as I showed you, these buttons here, pretty much everything here is what you could customize those buttons to do. So I'm not going to read all these out. It's just a lot, but you can always pause the video and read through them if you like. And for the knobs here, I have this knob for Spotify, but I could customize them not only just for a certain program, but for all of these other options here. Even just the monitor brightness of a particular monitor, or maybe all of them, I'm not sure, I haven't really tested it out too much, or light brightness, which basically adjusts the RGB lighting brightness for the actual physical device here. And speaking of the RGB, I can also customize the any particular rainbow wheel here, and I currently have it set to Rainbow Wheel is actually the name of the light customization I have for it, and I just set it to apply to all, and so it just does that for each of the lighting wheels. Well, I have all of these other options here that I could set it to if I wanted to, but I like it just like that, so I am cool with it. So I meant to show this part of my setup a little bit earlier on in the video, but as you can see here, I got my internet modem and router right here. Well, the modem's connected right there, and for my router on my computer, I have this white Ethernet cable right here, which connects my router directly to my computer. So That way I can get the fastest internet possible. And yeah, I know you're probably gonna say, well, you know, your cable management could probably use some work, which I quite honestly agree with a bit, and I have tried to manage my cables a little bit better. I have like a whole bunch of like cable sleeves and like boxes to put like, you know, cables and such, but I felt like by doing that, well, when I did try doing that, it like pulled on the cables a bit too much, I think, and like to the point where like a cable might get unhooked from somewhere, and you know, obviously I don't want that happening if I'm like, you know, in the middle of like streaming or something. So, you know, I decided to just keep it like this. I mean, the cable management could be a little bit better, but it's definitely not the worst I've had, or well, it's definitely not the worst I've ever seen. So now moving on here, well, we have my chair, and you're probably thinking, yeah, you know, this is not like the typical gaming chair that, you know, I've seen. So now I did have a pretty fancy gaming chair at one point, but in seemingly a short time it had gotten a bit torn up, and you know, I didn't really want to spend good money on a fancy gaming chair again just for it to, you know, get torn up in like a couple years or so. But my point is, I want to make whatever I spend my money on last, and this chair is comfortable enough for me, and that is all I need. So now moving on here, we have my desk, and this mouse pad right here, this like really big mouse pad, actually came with a desk. And if I go ahead and go over here, this thing right here also came with the desk, but I just use this to hang up my Bluetooth headset, so I don't actually have it in my setup or anything. Anyway, as you can see, my I have a double headset. Well, it came with a double headset hook, but I only have one headset, and I wouldn't be able to fit another headset right there anyway if I wanted to hang up another one, because, well, you know, my microphone is kind of in the way, as you can see. Then right here I got a cup holder. Well, you know, I mean, I get pretty parched whenever I'm streaming, you know, talking for a long time, so, you know, I need to stay hydrated, or if I'm just like, you know, recording the video, or just like, you know, playing games just casually, you know, I need to stay pretty hydrated. And yes, I did purposely put this away from my computer, so that in case it spills, it doesn't, you know, spill anywhere near the computer, because, you know, that wouldn't be good. Now, speaking of that, this desk is actually spill-proof, and it can support up to 500 pounds of weight. So let's say, I don't know, I spilled my drink all over the desk here, or if, like, I don't know, I slammed my desk really hard because, I don't know, I got, like, arrested in jailbreak or something, then, you know, I shouldn't have to worry about ruining the desk. So now moving on here, what I do like a lot about this desk, it has RGB lights on both sides here. As you can see, there's another one over there, and they are a bit customizable with this button here, which this button's actually only on this side. If I go and press this button, you know, I got quite a bit of static colors to choose from, or yeah, I could choose a jumping light sequence, or if I press it again, I would get a fading light sequence. It does take a little bit. I mean, it changes lights pretty slow, but you should be able to notice if you know, look at the lights for long enough. You should have noticed by now, I'm sure. But yeah, I think that's gonna go ahead and wrap up my setup tour video here. So I know I'm extremely late for this video. I mean, we're already like halfway to the next 1,000 subscriber milestone, but I've just had a lot of personal stuff going on in my life recently that has prevented me from doing this video until now. I'm sure you understand, but if you did enjoy this video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if this is your first time seeing me, or of course if you want to see more subscriber special videos like this. And be sure to turn on notifications so that way you don't miss out on any new uploads, community posts, and even special videos like this. But yeah, that is going to be it, and we're going to go ahead and go back into the screen here, because I'm sure that's all you'd see in majority of my videos, I would think. But yeah, thank you very much for getting me to 3,000 subscribers. I really appreciate that. But yeah, that is going to be it, and I will see you all in the next video.